Let's get in some more perspective then. R.K. Gupta, ED at Bank of Maharashtra as well joins in. Mr. Gupta, afternoon. Thanks much for taking time out. Are you happy that there was a push for capital? The finance minister has said in pretty much as many words that banks do have a strong case for further capital infusion and the fact that he will look into it.
Yes, definitely the views of the finance ministers were quite positive and they were quite favorable as per our expectations. And he has assured that the capital will be given, need-based capital will be given to all the banks, and as well as so that will improve, that will strengthen us for rate transmission as well as the meeting the requirement of the stalled projects, and in case of, because higher NPA is also cause of concern. So all these things, positive views has been given by the finance minister. I think overall it is very constructive.
Gupta, the finance minister has also expressed hope that in next few weeks bank will be in a position to transmit rate cuts. So is that an instruction, and can I safely assume that rates will come down automatically in the short term and the transmission will be immediate?
No, most of the banks, they have passed on transmission by 25 basis points. And some of the banks, particularly private sector banks, they have not yet reduced their base rate. I think within a couple of weeks, they will also
Mr. Gupta, in this year, I'm talking about calendar year, rates have come down by 75 bips. I don't think any pre-issue bank or private bank has transmitted rates by 75 bips.
No, actually, full transmission cannot take place immediately, because ultimately cost of deposit, we have to take care of the cost of deposit also. We cannot reduce the rate on deposits also substantially, because we can't reduce the rate of interest on deposit by 75 basis points. But as finance minister also said, and there was a demand from the bankers side also, that this social savings schemes which carries higher rate of interest, there also the government should take a view so that we can also reduce our rate of interest on deposits, because ultimately that is the major source of resources for us for financing.
Okay, Ashwin Parekh, managing partner with Ashwin Parekh Advisory Services, also joins us. Ashwin, at least according to me, the key takeaway is that finance minister has indicated that he will look into capital infusion for PSU banks. He's not given us a number, but he has just remained shy of acknowledging and admitted that finance ministry will have to help them out.
Yeah. Well, yes, I mean, that's a very positive statement, I must say. The only challenge is that the gap between what has been allocated by way of capital to the PSU banks and the need, I mean, is such a vast difference. I mean, yesterday for that matter, and today morning the press has reported, we've seen Eco Times talking about a need for about 80,000 crores in the public sector banking. I mean, one of the RBI deputy governors has said this, and the allocation is just about 7,600 crores. So there is a huge gap between what is going to be given to the public sector banks by way of capital. The FMI thought, I mean, in his address to the bankers, would have at least indicated some number, you know, just to end the way in which the gap is going to be filled up between 7,600 and 82,000 crores, basically, you know.
Mr. Gupta, were you present at the meeting with the finance minister? And if so, perhaps you could give us a first-hand information on what exactly did the finance minister say? Was any quantum of capital infusion discussed?
No, actually, this finance ministry will be having presentation from all the public sector banks that will start now from tomorrow onwards. And there all the banks will put their case, how much expansion they want in credit growth, and how much capital they require. So based on their presentation and justification, I think government will consider providing additional capital to the banks.
Mr. Parekh, the other point which the finance minister indicated and insisted that banks are not transmitting rates. I have a banker on the other side who's of the view that the cost of deposit is still high. So it's very easy for the finance minister, Ashwin, to say, you know, rate transmission has happened, but in reality it's difficult to implement.
No, I mean, I take the banker's point of view over here. You know, I mean, for any government or the regulator to expect that the rate transmission would happen as soon as the rate cut is announced, you know, is only hypothetical to my mind. It takes a little while for the market to absorb both. You know, I mean, as far as the banker is concerned, the banker has to first ensure that the deposit I mean, based on the new bank rate or whatever. I mean, and bank rate itself is also a function of costing. It is a function of interest rate paid plus other elements of cost. Now, unless those come down, the transmission cannot happen, So it takes a little while. I mean, I would certainly give the bankers anywhere between 1 quarter, to about, at least 5-6 months, 2 quarters, to really transmit the full impact of a reduction in rate. So that's only one part. Second is looking at the challenges in the economy, as Mr. Gupta rightly said.
Right.
Transferring it to savings particularly, and still to expect savings to rise in the economy is going to be a huge challenge. I do expect that.
Okay. Ashwin Parekh, Mr. R.K. Gupta, gentlemen, appreciate your time. Thank you for